friends, welcome back to Llamamakayla's Yarn Tube. I'm Kayla, and I thank you for stopping by for a visit today. This is a crochet and chat video, so I'm just going to crochet while I chat and update you on some things that's went on this week with me. And I am crocheting on a rainbow blanket, and I'll just give you a little peek at it. It's a rainbow blanket that I started out with 3 small granny squares. They're 3 rounds a piece. 1, 2, 3. It's just 3 rounds. And then I did a second one and a third one, and I single crocheted these together on the back side. And then I just started granny stitching around to make a granny stitch rectangle blanket. So I do have a video that I will try my best to remember to link in the description box of this video. And actually the name of the video is 2 ways to crochet a rectangle granny blanket. So I will link that below if my brain remembers it. I think I did link it in the last video of this. But anyway, so I'm still crocheting on this blanket. I did not get to crochet at all Wednesday or Thursday. Not one stitch on not one project. And so today I'm just trying to get a little time in on this. I'm on the 3rd row of this lighter shade purple. And when I finish this row, I'm going to around. It's got to go all the way around, not just a row. But when I finish this round of this purple, then I'm going to add a darker purple. So I hope to get that at least started on here today, because I want to get this blanket finished. Like I said, I did not get to crochet at all for 2 days. Today is Friday, yay! And I just want to, you know, crochet. Today is definitely a down day for me. I had 2 very, very busy days, just crazy busy. Lots of information to process for me. And one thing that does help me to process a lot of information overload like that is to talk about it. And so you guys are my friends, and so I'm going to discuss it with you. And yeah, that's what we're doing. So Wednesday I had 2 doctor's appointments in Shreveport, Louisiana. So Big Daddy and I got up Wednesday morning, got ready, and took off to Shreveport. We stopped at Sonic on the way and got drinks. I got a strawberry shortcake snowball slush, and basically that's a strawberry slush with tiny bits of strawberry in it and some ice cream on top. And so it's very good and yummy, cold. That's what we needed because it was a hot day. And then we got on the interstate and headed to Shreveport. So I sipped, this is important information right here that I'm telling you about my drink. I sipped on my slush and ate on that ice cream the whole way over there. Like, I mean, tiny sips and tiny bites of ice cream. I wasn't gulping it or, you know, just trying to eat the whole thing. When we got there to my first appointment, I still had a good bit left, like at least half. And so I didn't want to leave it in the hot car, and I still wanted my drink, okay? So I have a deep purse that was just the right size. So I just set my cup over in my purse, and I sipped on it while I was waiting on my doctor's appointment. I'd take a sip. When I was back in the room, you know, and the doctor or nurse or whatever wasn't in, I'd just take a sip or 2, you know. So I was able to continue sipping on my drink throughout the whole day. Okay, that part is important information. But anyway, so I was sipping on a sugary drink is what the point I'm trying to make. Okay, at my first appointment, it was very not what I expected. This was a pain management doctor that my doctor set me up to go see. Now, I did not expect anything to become of this because, first off, when you're overweight, and if you're overweight, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you're overweight, doctors just write you off immediately. Your pain is your fault, pretty much. I mean, that's, you know, I think overall, that's what most doctors will do. So I did not expect anything to become of this appointment. I expected him to say, well, I'm sorry, there's nothing we can do for you, or, you know, something along those lines. Well, this doctor did go over my records and looked at all my illnesses and autoimmune diseases, things that I have going on. So he knows I have a lot going on in my body, right? So he came in knowing I had chronic pain. And we talked. He asked me questions. I answered the best that I could. You know, when you have chronic pain, sometimes it's really hard. It's really hard, especially when you know that person has no idea what you're talking about. They do not experience chronic pain. Excuse me. When they do not experience chronic pain themselves, they have no idea of the intensity of it, of the burden that you carry every day. You wake up, you don't know how bad your chronic pain is going to be from day to day. It's hard to make plans because you might make plans with someone or to do something and be all gung-ho and excited about it, and wake up and can barely move or function, and you can't do the plans that you have. I mean, that's hard for people that do not have chronic pain to comprehend. No fault of their own, they just never experienced it, and I hope that they never do, because it's very, I don't know the word to say, but it's very heartbreaking for the person who does experience it. It's unpredictable, and you know, I wouldn't wish this on anyone. I would say I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy, but I don't know that I have an enemy. But I just would not ever wish this on anyone. So anyway, this doctor had went over all my stuff and information, and my chart is, he could see everything in my chart online because he is in the network with my doctors. All my doctors are in the same network. Every one of them can pull up my chart and see all my tests, all my appointments, everything about me. Like, he knew everything there is to know about me because he had connection to my chart. My chart. Okay, so anyway, he said normally they start, you know, with simple things, ibuprofen, probably. They start with simple things and try this, try that. You know, if that doesn't work, then they'll move up to something a little bit more. And he sees that, you know, I've tried like a lot of those things already and nothing has helped. And so he said, we're just going to go straight to the top. Okay, for me, sitting there expecting nothing to become of this doctor's appointment, I just almost bust into tears that this man gets my pain. He understands that I'm in pain. He understands the level of pain that I'm in daily. I mean, I try not to focus on that and talk about all the time, like, you know, I'm in so much pain, but I am. Like, you know, there's not a day that goes by that I'm not in pain. Some days it's more intense than others, and some days it's more tolerable than others, but it's always there. And this man got it. Like, he understood the level of pain that my worst days are. You know, and I did tell him that some days it's worse than others. Some days it's more tolerable and I can function and do a little bit. And then some days it's so intense that I can't do anything. And he got it. He got it, y'all. I mean, that to me just almost made me bust out in tears, okay? For someone to get it is amazing. Big Daddy knows I'm in pain, but sometimes I feel like he doesn't get it. Like, he doesn't understand the intensity of the pain. I mean, of course he don't, because he's not experiencing the same pain that I have. Now, he does have some issues with his knees and such, but seriously, he doesn't understand the intensity of my pain sometimes. I know he don't. Okay, so anyway, this is what we talked about and discussed, and me and Big Daddy talked about it, and this is what we decided to do. On September the 21st, I'm going to go to Shreveport and be admitted into the hospital. They are going to put a shot of morphine into my spine. I'm going to stay overnight, and if that shot of morphine helps me, my overall chronic illness, if I feel a difference, I feel, you know, like it gave me some relief and such, and if it, you know, I don't have any adverse, like any bad side effects from it, then we are going to schedule surgery to place a pain pump in my side, kind of like in the side of my stomach. This pain pump is about 3 inches. It's a circle like that. It's about 3 inches wide. I mean, it may be a little like, it's not 2, so it may not be quite 3, but it's between 2 and 3 inches wide. It's a circle like this, like a, the way I described it to my kids, I said it's about the size of a skull can. Now, neither one of them do, but they know the size of a skull can. So, it's a pretty large circle. It's metal, silver metal. And it will be filled with pain medicine, morphine. It will be filled with morphine, and they will insert it into my side, kind of like the side of my stomach. And then a little tube will be threaded through under the skin, and it will go around to my spine and be hooked up into my spine. And pain medicine will be continuously injected into my spine. Now, this is a continuous thing. It'll just be happening without me knowing it, continuously. So that could, you know, bring me relief, bring my pain levels down so that I'm not in chronic pain. Now, I'm still processing this, okay, because that is a lot to process. And I can change my mind at any time, you know, and it's not a done deal yet, is what I'm saying. Plus, we've got to do that trial in the hospital to make sure I do get, you know, relief from the morphine and no side effects. Now, by taking the morphine and going into the spine like that, it bypasses everything that it needs to be absorbed in your body before you ever get any kind of effects from pain medicine. It just bypasses the gut and the bloodstream and all that kind of stuff and just goes straight into the, straight into the spine there. It'll go straight into the place where it needs to go. I see a little spot I need to cut out. Can y'all see that? I'm just going to cut that out. Make sure there's no more like right behind it. Okay. Anyway, so that is our plan as of right now, is to do that trial to see if the morphine brings me relief without causing other issues. Okay. Now, do any of you guys have a pain pump? I would love to hear about it. I would love to know your experience, how that affected you, how well did it help. Just tell me the good, the bad, the ugly. Because like I said, that's not a done deal. It won't be a done deal until it's inside my body. Even if I sign up and we schedule the surgery, I can still change my mind before it's put inside my body. But the thought of something giving me relief just brings tears to me. Tears of joy and tears of acknowledgement, tears of just somebody understands. So anyway, that is the plan right now for that. September the 21st, I'll just go in for an overnight visit, get a shot in my back, see how well that helps and all that, and then go from there. Okay, that was my first appointment. Very nice doctor, very compassionate. So then we had to go to my second appointment. All right, so we go get in the car. I'm still sipping on my slush and eating the ice cream off the top because it hasn't melted yet. I'm eating ice cream, kind of stirring it up into my slush and drinking that. We go to my second appointment. I get registered, signed in, all that kind of stuff. While I'm waiting, I'm drinking my slush. Have my appointment. I've seen this doctor in the past. I did Benlysta infusions under her many years ago. I saw her regularly for many, many years. She's a very nice doctor. I really do like her and everything. But I was doing the Benlysta infusions, and I did them once a month for several years. Like, I'm not sure exactly how many years, but for at least 4, if not more. I can't remember when I started. I was trying to think, I was judging that by things that were going on in my kids' lives at the time, like college, graduation, things like that. I was judging by, remembering back what was going on in their lives and why I was doing those infusions, because I would need one of them to take me during that time. Sometimes Big Daddy could go, but he couldn't get off work all the time to go. So that's how I was judging that. So I know it was at least, I was on those for 4 years. Well, I started having mini strokes. Like I had a stroke. And that was really scary. Elijah and I was home by ourselves. I woke up and I was having a stroke. Elijah, I called Jody, but I couldn't talk plain. I couldn't talk where he could understand me. I was trying to tell him something's wrong. And there is a video on here about I had a stroke that does go into detail about all that. But anyway, Jody called Elijah and asked him what was going on. And so he told him. And then Jody said, "Get her ready. I'm on my way." And Jody was here from Rayville, Louisiana to Monroe, Louisiana, very, very fast, and got me to the hospital. Elijah got me ready before Big Daddy got here. So anyway, I had that stroke, and then a little while later, I had another stroke. I thought I had 4 strokes. Big Daddy swears up and down I had 5 strokes. I don't know. So I had 4 or 5 strokes. Yes. They were small, tiny strokes. They did things like left me with my face kind of numb. At some points, I couldn't, one side or another of my face didn't move quite so well, like smiling and talking. But over time, and weakness in my left arm and my left leg, my left foot. But over time, those things did get better. When I told Dr. Hyatt, I think I missed an appointment, and then I told her that I had a stroke, and she said, "Oh, we can't do the Benlysta." She researched on it or whatever, I don't know, but she said that it could be from the Benlysta infusions that I was getting every month. Well, I got off the Benlysta infusions, never took another one, never had another stroke. So I'm saying, and they weren't serious strokes, like they were mini strokes that just affected something at the moment, and then they would get better over time. So they associate it with the Benlysta, and I do too, because once I got off that Benlysta, I haven't had another stroke. So where was I going with that? Oh, so anyway, I think I was saying that I've seen her in the past. She's very familiar with me. She knows a lot going on. Okay. She went over me with a fine-tooth comb. It felt like I was at the zoo watching the monkeys, okay? It felt like I was looking in a monkey cage, watching one monkey go over another monkey. And I almost chuckled out loud, because that's the thought that came to my mind as she's like up on my shoulder, pulling up my sleeve. They're looking at my shoulder, and then, going over my neck, my hairline, and my scalp. I mean, I almost busted out laughing. But I held it together. But that would have been better than busting out crying, I guess, right? Which I could have done easily too. Because on this particular day, I felt horrible. I just felt really, really bad. And but I feel bad all the time, right? So how do you distinguish one day as feeling, you know, is more important of a bad day than another day when they're all the same? But anyway, she went over everything, looked at every inch of my body, I guess you could say. I mean, she did go over me really, really well. And then she ordered a ton of labs. Oh my gosh, she ordered so much blood work. And I can't think of anything she said at that appointment that, you know, stands out right now that I want to mention. But, oh, she is going to start me back on some infusions, not Benlysta, but something else. She wrote down the name of it for me, but it's in my purse. I hadn't even looked it up or anything yet. But she wrote down what she's thinking that she's going to put me on, but she said that could change once my blood tests get back, but that's what she's thinking at the moment. So we left that appointment. We had to go downstairs to the lab and turn in that I was there for that and sit and wait. And it was, the waiting room for the lab was full, so we had to go to the next waiting room, but we could see that waiting room, and we were actually kind of closer to the door of the lab, and we could hear them call out people's names. So we had to sit in a different waiting room, waiting on labs to call. So I sat there, we had to wait a while. I sat there and drinking my slush. I almost finished it by this point. I'm eating the ice cream that's still in it. Okay, so they call my name, and the waiting room is filling up more and more and more as we wait, you know. But anyway, they call my name, they get me back there, nice young lady. And I know already that lab techs are not allowed to access your portacath. Like, I have a port in my chest that, you know, I can get IVs through, but labs technicians are not allowed, excuse me, lab technicians are not allowed to access that to draw blood. And I already know that. So she tried to get blood. She didn't get anything. She stuck me a couple times. And I told her, I said, well, I do have this portacath for that reason, because my veins are just not any good. And she said, well, we're not allowed. And I said, I know. I already knew that. She said, a nurse could do it, but we're not allowed. Okay, so come to find out, nurses don't want to access it either. They always say, well, it's too much at risk of an infection. And so we don't want to do that unless we absolutely have to. Okay, so this particular lab technician that I had, she stuck me several times. She would stick me, and then she would dig and dig and dig. And, you know, that's the worst part of it, is when they're digging that needle around in your arm trying to get the vein. At one point, she did get a little flashback and started trying to fill up a syringe, not a syringe, but a vial. And she got just a tiny bit of blood. It was really slow flow, thick. She said it looks real sticky and it's clotting already. She said, like, by the time it gets to the lab, it's not going to be any good because it's clotting already. And it was just flowing so slow. So the other lab technician was in there. She said, hey, do you want to let her try? She asked me first. And I said, yeah, I don't care. And she said, I think before that, she said, well, you may have to come back. I said, I live 2.5 hours away. I'm not coming back. And then she said, do you want to let her try? And I was like, yeah. So she asked her, would you want to try on her? And she said, yeah, I will. Now, while I'm back there, the other lab technician is calling people in and out, in and out. Like, I don't know how many patients she saw while that one lady was trying to work on me. So they swapped positions, and I got a new lab technician. And the other one that I had, she was calling patients in and out, while this one lady was working on me again. And she said, you know, she tried pulling the blood with a syringe instead of letting it go in a vial. She said, maybe if I pull with a syringe, it'll come better. It wasn't. It was the same. And she stuck me, I don't know how many times either. I ended up being stuck 8 times. And it wasn't just being stuck 8 times. Like, I can handle the needle. Like, my skin is super thick. Half the time, I don't feel a needle going in. I do feel a needle going in when they do it here or on the back of the hand. I can feel that more so as in just regular on my arm, because my skin is very thick on my arms. But that digging, like I said, the stick doesn't really bother me, but that digging, once they go in and they're digging and digging and digging, that is painful. And at some points, I'm like, oh, okay, you're going to have to stop, because that's just hurting way too bad. And I normally, I just sit there and I let them dig and try to get the vein, because I know that my veins are hard to get. And, you know, they need time to try to get them. So I don't say anything unless the pain is just getting really bad. So, yeah, they did stick me 8 times. Well, she found a vein over here that she was babying all the way, doing everything she could to baby that vein and keep it flowing. A slow, painful, and she was pulling it with a syringe because it wouldn't flow on its own. And so she wasn't able to get all the vials that she had 12 tubes laid out that she needed to fill. She ended up trading a bunch of those in for, like, they were like tubes about like this long. She traded them in for some little micro tubes. She said, there's no way I'm gonna fill these tubes. And so she got some little tiny tubes and was trying, you know, fill those up, get enough in those that they could do a blood test with, I guess. So in the end, she said, that's all I'm gonna get. That is all I can do. She said, I'm just going to take this blood and spread it throughout all these tubes to give them something in each tube so they can do the blood test. And so I'm thinking, okay, are they going to have enough? I mean, gosh, I don't know. So, going through all that, it was 5 o'clock. It was after 5. They closed at 5. It was after 5 o'clock. We finally got finished. Poor lady. I know she's ready to go. It was time for her to get off work. And we left, and Big Daddy did take me to Joann's, because he knows I like to go there. So there will be a Joann's video coming up. Honestly, I felt so crummy. I did not feel like going to Joann's. I didn't feel like doing anything at all, to tell you the truth. But Big Daddy drove straight to Joann's without saying anything, because he's a good man and he knows that I enjoy going to Joann's. So there was a yarn that I did, I was looking for. So I went straight to that. I didn't even go up and down all the aisles. Because I didn't feel like walking up and down all the yarn aisles. And, you know, it's not that many, but I just didn't feel like I could do it. So we went in Joann's, and I went straight to what I was looking for, got what I wanted, and we left out. I think we stopped and got gas. And Big Daddy got him something to eat. And we headed home. We got home really late that night. It was around 10ish, around 10 o'clock p.m. So I was exhausted. Like, I was exhausted the whole day, but by that time I was really exhausted. Big Daddy was really tired too, so he got ready for bed. And he went on to bed because he had to get up for work the next morning. I tended to animals and done things I needed to do, and then I went to bed. Well, during the night, while we were asleep, now Big Daddy has to put his phone on Do Not Disturb because his work will text him or call him during the night. And it's usually stuff that can wait until the morning time when he's up. But the nurses or techs that are there at night, if something comes up, they will call or text him. And if it's emergency, call 911. Don't call Jody Miller. Okay? If it's something that can't wait for morning, they need to be calling 911, not him. He's not on call. Like, seriously, he's not on call. But he's the person in charge of a lot of things at his work, and he's the one with the knowledge of a lot of procedures and things like that. So anyway, he puts his phone on Do Not Disturb, or he will get phone calls a couple of times a night, possibly. My phone I don't even have alarms turned on my phone. I have everything turned off. Like, even text messages, I see them when I see them. I don't get an alarm to say I had a text message to come in or anything like that. With my illness, the way I sleep, things going on with me, yeah, if you have an emergency, you better call 911, not Kayla Miller, because Kayla Miller can't help you, for one thing, and for another thing, my phone is not going to be set to an alarm to let me know that I got a text. And our kids know this. They know, call your dad if you have an emergency, because mom possibly could be asleep. Anyway, because I sleep at different hours than the rest of the world. Mostly. Okay, so during the night, unbeknown to us, the hospital was trying to call us. I'm not sure how many times they called, but they did call each of us one time at least. They were calling to tell me to go to the ER. Well, I didn't know that's what they were telling me. So I got up. The next morning, Big Daddy got up. He went to work. He's at work doing his thing. I slept late because Wednesday wore me out. I felt so bad Wednesday. It was all I could do to just walk inside each appointment. Honestly, I was so wore out. Like, it was a really rough, chronic day for me, is what I would call it. I got up, done whatever I was doing around here, sat down, checked my phone to see what was going on, you know. I had a message from the rheumatologist in Shreveport saying your glucose level is critical at 40. Go to the ER. I was like, what? So I sent that message to Big Daddy, and he's like, can you go? Can you get there by yourself? Can you do it? And I was like, yeah, I can. I mean, he called me, and I said, yeah, I can go. It would have took him an hour to get home. Well, I guess he could have flew like he did once before, but he was in the middle of something very important at his work. He had just taken off the whole day before. He has deadlines that he had to meet, and he was meeting with some higher up people than him, trying to get those sorted out, deadlines, you know, like things that need to be done. He could not just leave. So I got ready, done what I needed to do around here with the animals, and went to the hospital. I showed them the message on my phone saying I needed to go to the ER, that my glucose was 40. So they did a finger stick there in triage, and it was 70. So they, you know, took me on back, put me in a little room, and I saw the doctor. Told her, I showed her the message, and she said, okay, well, they, you know, it was 70 then. Oh, and the doctor in Shreveport also, when she sent that message, she also told me to drink sugary drinks, you know, a bunch of sugary drinks, and go to the hospital. So I drank a bunch of Sprite while I was getting ready, and on the way to the hospital, I was drinking Sprite. That's all I had. I didn't even have any sweet tea made. I didn't have, you know, anything. I didn't have orange juice and stuff like that, you know. I had some Sprite. I had just bought a Sprite the night before. Oh yeah, we did stop at a Dollar Tree on the way home, and I got a big, I think a 1 liter Sprite, because sometimes I sip on that when I'm nauseated. So I picked one up, and that's what I drank that morning on the way to the hospital. So we got there, and my blood sugar was 70, but per finger stick. And they put me in a room, showed the doctor the stuff, told her I drank Sprite on the way up there. They got it up to 70 in triage. Okay. You know, they checked it, and it was 70 in triage. She said, okay, well, we're going to do all your labs again, but I want you to, you know, continuously drink orange juice and apple juice in here. So they brought me cups of juice. Right? So they were bringing me juice, and I drank that all day long. And they were doing blood, you know, checking my blood. They drew blood for, okay. Now I'm adding in the darker purple. I think this is the last color other than the white border. So anyway, they were bringing me juices, orange juice, apple juice. I'm not a fan of orange juice, but I was drinking it. Actually, it was tasting pretty good at the moment because it was almost frozen. It had like ice frozen in it, and it was just a hot day, so I was enjoying it kind of. So they was doing blood work and all that, and they got my blood glucose up to 80. And by this time, it was 4:30 in the evening. Okay, I spent the whole day at the hospital. I was so wore out. Oh my gosh, I was so tired. They got it up to 80, and that was at 4:30. And so I told them, I said, look, I have somewhere to go tonight. I really need to be leaving really soon. And so she made me promise I was going to keep a check on it and keep drinking some juices and such, you know. It's like, okay, I will. So she got me papers for discharge, and I was able to leave. I got out of there at like 4:45. And I called Big Daddy, and he said, I'm almost home. He had to come home and get a shower because we had somewhere to go. Okay. The doctor at the hospital told me to follow it with my primary doctor, the doctor that I see for everything. And so I guess I'll be making an appointment with him soonest, but I need to recover from Wednesday and Thursday before I can think about setting up another doctor's appointment. Big Daddy and I had somewhere to go, and that will be a whole nother video, but we did go somewhere last night. I felt crummy. I was wore out from Wednesday and Thursday, but we had tickets. Big Daddy had bought tickets a few weeks ago when he got paid for an event he wanted to take me to. So I pushed forward, sucked it up, pulled my big girl panties all the way up, all the way up, and mustered up the energy, the strength to push forward and go. And I thought, this is how I got myself there. Like, I did not feel like going to this event. It was the Elvis concert. I don't mean to be like mysterious about that. And I'll have a video coming up about that. It was the Elvis concert that Big Daddy had got tickets for. And this is how I got myself there. I thought, okay, all I got to do is walk out, get in the car, sit in the car, ride up there, get out, walk in, and sit in a chair. All I got to do is sit in a chair. I can do that. I can sit in a chair. That's how I got myself there, because I did not feel like going, okay? So I just told myself, all you got to do is go sit in a chair. And I'm so glad we went, because we had a wonderful time. And that will be a separate video coming out very soonish. But anyway, that's what happened with me on Wednesday and Thursday. Like, I had full intentions of doing videos. Wednesday, I had a full intention of doing a video out and about around Shreveport, but I did not do out and about around Shreveport because I was so... I just felt so horrible. And that's why I felt horrible, because my blood sugar, my glucose, was down to so low. It was down to 40. I mean, that's critical. Yeah. And at the hospital, they're like, well, you're lucky you woke up this morning. And I said, well, I did drink and house stuff after I had those blood tests, so I'm sure it came up higher than 40. But what's surprising to me is I was eating ice cream and drinking slush the whole day, and it was still 40. Now, my blood sugar does run low. My A1C is 4. They did run it. My A1C is 4. My blood sugar does have a tendency to run on the low side. So 70 is pretty normal for me, I think. Like in the 70s, 74, 75, 76. That's pretty normal for me. Mine's never been up close to like 100. And let's keep in mind, I drink sweet tea. I eat ice cream daily. I eat mashed potatoes. I eat a lot of sugar, cotton candy. Sometimes when I am feeling low, like, I wouldn't associate this with blood sugar. I've not even thought about my blood sugar, okay? Because I know my A1C was really low. Like one time it was like 4.4 or something like that. So I knew it was low. It's not something I think about. But sometimes when I'm just feeling like lethargic, I'll eat like some cotton candy, a bag of cotton candy from Dollar Tree. So I eat sugar a lot, okay? Because that's what I can eat. I can get mashed potatoes down. I can get pudding, applesauce, ice cream, popsicles. And I do not get sugar-free anything because sugar-free causes me issues. It causes my stomach to hurt and an upset stomach. I do not do any kind of artificial sweeteners. That does make me so sick. I hate the taste of them. So I'm sugar all the way, baby, okay? So for my glucose to be 40 was a huge shock to us. A huge shock. So that's what happened Wednesday and Thursday. In this video, it's getting close to an hour, and you're probably like finished your project by now. But look, guys, I started this purple around the blanket, and I really love that. Look how that dark purple looks. And then when I finish the 3 rows of the dark purple, I'm going to try to do a white scalloped edging around it, like 5 or 6. I'll just have to try. Like, I'll probably, once I get started on it, I'll probably try like 5 double crochets, connect, 5 double crochets. No, I'll probably try like 6 double crochets, connect, 7 double crochets, and I'm just going to see which one looks best, which one I get, you know, I like the most, and then I'll rip it out. I'm not going to go very far, just a short ways to see what number of double crochets I want in it, and then I'll rip it out and come back and do whatever I decide on. So I'm going to try to do a scalloped edge around this. I hope it works out, plays out right, but I'm loving this. So just another look at this pretty thing coming on here. Light pink, a little bit darker shade of pink, red, orange, yellow. I did put 2 greens, and the reason I put 2 greens is because I loved both colors, and plus I needed to grow my blanket larger. I put 3 blues because I love all 3 colors, and I needed to grow my blanket larger. And I'm putting 2 purples, same reason, just to grow that blanket a little bit larger. And it's coming out to be a really nice size blanket. Here, this end that's facing me right now, you can't see this, but this is the width of the blanket, and it goes across me and beyond. So it's turning out to be a lot larger than a baby blanket as I was originally thinking, but it's nice. So my plans for today are to work on this dark purple, and I hope to finish this up sometime during the weekend, get my scalloped edge on it, so I can come back and show y'all this blanket is done. That's my plan. What are your plans for the weekend? What do you have going on? If you've stayed with me this long, bless you, bless you, bless you. You deserve some kind of award. So I just want to say thank you, guys. I appreciate you all for just listening to me ramble, but I know you guys care and are concerned when I don't post videos, and I wanted to let you all know what happened, where I've been. Wasn't planned. Definitely was not planned, because I enjoy making videos with you guys and talking to you, and so, and hearing, reading your feedback in the comments and such. So just know that I appreciate you very, very much. Okay, guys, I'm gonna go. Remember, it is a beautiful day to crochet, and I will see you in the next video. Bye, friends.